It's now time for Me and My Roku with your host, Peter Clay.
Who's your guy?
Peter.
So we have a voicemail now from Peter.
Not everybody sounds like Peter Clay.
Peter was like my brother.
This is my brother, Peter.
Pete, you are not
Peter Clay is here today. Holy crap, it's Peter.
Oh, I love Peter.
Peter was a sweet guy.
Good luck tonight, Peter.
Your host, Peter Clay.
Well, hello again, everybody, and welcome to another sizzling, exciting adventure with me and my Roku. I'm your host, Peter Clay. Welcome aboard. This is the podcast where I pop in from time to time and I explain what I do with my streaming services and streaming devices and all that stuff. Not just the Roku, whatever I've got. I got them all, just so you know. 2 TVs, well, I got 5 TVs total, but 2 of them are smart TVs, and then all the streaming devices. 2 Rokus, 3 Rokus, a Google TV, a Google Chromecast with Google TV, or Google TV with Chrome, okay, whatever, yeah. An Amazon Fire TV Max stick, something, yeah, and an Apple TV. Got them all, and I come here and I share with you my little secrets to help you, or maybe help you, just so you know, oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. I'm doing fine, I'm doing great. Oh, I didn't know that. So there you go. Just general purpose information. It's for informational purposes only. Little disclosure, disclaimer, and all that stuff there. So I'm just spooting out information to see if that can help the common good and the common cord color streamer, and something for the average podcast listener to listen to fill in the gaps while you're waiting for your next podcast to start. So we are, I'm getting close to kind of a milestone here with me and my Roku. We're going to be coming up pretty close to the 100th episode. Just so you know, just be prepared. I don't know if we're going to have a big party, a big celebration, or anything along those lines. Maybe I'll even do a video. Oh, I don't know. We'll see. Time permitting and all that stuff. So just, this is kind of what we'd like to call in the podcast world a bank show. This is information that's not time sensitive. And I've noticed, looking at here, that I've been kind of working at a every other week, once a month type of thing, and I'm not quite sure how I feel about that. So when time's permitting, I'd like to get some shows in the bank, boom, because I wanted to do a daily headlines show, but all the headlines and all that were stuff, how to watch this, how to watch that, and that's not very exciting, and it doesn't help me at all or anything like that. And so if it doesn't help me at all, how can I help you? So here's some other things. So I started a couple of things called Back to the Basics. I did a couple little segments on that, so I want to kind of get back together on that. And then a couple other stories I've been kind of sitting on and all that stuff. So I thought I'd share them with you here. So in case I can't get a show in here, I just go boom, send it on through, and for your enjoyment and entertainment. So got a couple things to get to here then, so let's get started.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Okay, here's a story I've been kind of sitting on for the last little while. I don't know why, but maybe I just didn't feel it was important or anything like that. But the USFL, the United States Football League, once a fledgling spring league back in the early 80s, a product of ESPN, and actually was doing okay there for a year or so, was actually poaching some players from the NFL. Chris Collinsworth was about ready to switch over before he broke his leg. But Reggie White was in the USFL. Jim Kelly, coaches like Jim Mora and Jack Pardee were there. All that stuff. So it almost made it until it didn't. And then they kind of maybe overexpanded. They kind of went for broke. I know there was a little guy named Donald Trump that was kind of pushing to get merged into the NFL. And so they had ownership fracturing and all that stuff. The cracks, like in Kanto. We don't talk about Donald Trump. So anyway, they're back, the USFL. This is the third go for a spring football league. And the news is, for the first time since a little thing called the AFL-NFL Championship game, which we now affectionately call Super Bowl I, the first game will be simulcast on 2 networks. Now, in case of the Super Bowl, it was CBS and NBC, and they had different announcers for each network. But here, this will be a straight simulcast, same announcers, same ads even, and it'll be on Fox and NBC. So good luck for that. So now, what does this mean for streaming? Does it mean, will it be on the Fox Sports app? Can you get it on Hulu? Probably then, with either one of those networks, and maybe on Peacock. Who knows? We'll see. So this is the third go-around, like I said, for a spring league. So the goal here is to get through the season. There was the AAF, the AF, and they didn't make it. They went bankrupt and couldn't finish the season. The XFL, what looked like it was going to make it. It was doing well in places like Washington and St. Louis. They had beer snakes and everything like that. People were gambling on it and all that stuff. So... But then a little thing called COVID hit and shut everything down, and they're trying to bring it back again. The Rock is involved, and we'll see what happens there. So now here is the United States Football League. One more try, 3 times, and it's controlled mostly by Fox. So maybe they got a little more leeway, a little more financing there. Only starting with 8 teams, and 7 of them are in the original United States Football League. So it's the same names. I don't know how they did copyright and trademarks and all that stuff. So we got the New Jersey Generals, the Michigan Panthers, the Philadelphia Stars, the Birmingham Stallions, the Houston Gamblers, the New Orleans Breakers, which I believe was originally in Portland, but I believe they did move to New Orleans, and the Tampa Bay Bandits. And then the only other team here, the 8th team, which I'm not familiar with, maybe it's new, is the Pittsburgh Maulers. Not sure why you'd want to be Pittsburgh in this early spring, but hey, towards April there, it starts to turn the corner then, so we'll see. So there you have it. So good luck, USFL. So this will be the trick. Do we need more football, or do we need something to bet on? That will be the question. Good luck for Fox and NBC splitting up the broadcast duties on that. So we'll have to see, because another thing here is baseball's in a lockout. Will the season be delayed, and will we be suffering without sports? As you know, we had the NBA playoffs by then, just starting. That'll go another 3 months, and then also the Stanley Cup playoffs too. So maybe something in between to kind of fill the gaps. We shall see. Let's stay tuned, because that's what we do here on Me and My Roku. Okay, so I was doing a little cleanup around the office here. Always a dangerous thing. But the most interesting thing I found some of my notes from a show I did last year. Well, at first I thought it was 2 years ago because I saw a 50th birthday, but this was a year ago. So, can you remember what you were doing streaming-wise last year? It's amazing how much has just changed in the streaming verse in just 1 year. What can happen, all that stuff. So I was just looking at it, so I thought this would give us a little chance just to hit just to go back in time a little bit here and just look. We'll just look at my notes here and what was going on here. First of all, it looks like it's some personal stuff in here. So first there was the issue with the cat. Maybe you remember that last year. It sounds like it was it seemed benign at first. Now what happened was I took my cat in to get just a regular checkup and all that stuff, and then we asked them to check his ears, and they punctured his eardrum. Everything's fine now, and it seemed like everything was fine, but then I went and took a little trip to celebrate a 50th birthday, just as payback to all the people who came out to Vegas for my 50th. And the cat kind of went downhill there for a while, and then was on a feeding tube for a while. And everything worked out between the vet and all that stuff. We don't go there anymore, but no harm, no foul type of thing. He's fine now, and he wakes us up at 4:30 in the morning every day now, and it's like, but everything's fine there. And the 50th birthday surprise, during COVID and all that stuff, a buddy of mine, we went out in a car. We snuck out to Hilton Head, South Carolina. And I remember this distinctly then because I was going to I did a pop-up show in Asheville, North Carolina. And I recorded it and all that stuff. I even think I took pictures and put it on Instagram and all that stuff. I had my little portable microphone and all that stuff. And because I took Roku with me just to see what it was like, on Wi-Fi and on different TVs and hotels and all that stuff. Well, I had my second phone. I recorded it on a Google Pixel, and it crapped out. It just kept recycling over and over and over again, and so I lost the recording. I was never able to save it or anything. Well, I thought I'd saved it, but I was never able to recover the data on there, and it was just a moment lost. Oh, that was 1 year ago. So it says here now, on the more relevant fronts here, I spent more time on the Roku and the Fire TV, which is interesting because that Fire TV box is no more now. Let's see, Chromecast and Apple TV had updates. I cut YouTube TV and HBO Max. So apparently we're past the Super Bowl here then. So I was just relying on Prime Video, Hulu. I had a half price on Hulu, just regular Hulu then. Peacock and Discovery Plus. Debating, now, this is just 1 year ago. Debating on CBS All Access on Apple TV. Don't feel like I'm getting the full service. Okay, so I was getting the service through Apple TV, not through the CBS All Access app, but I was getting a 2-for-1 with Showtime, which also I had to keep because they had the whole Twilight Saga at the time. So that was a little Mrs. Emergency then. So that was, and there was a good deal with Showtime and CBS All Access, but knowing that CBS All Access was changing over to Paramount Plus, that was a whole ordeal. Once I canceled that and then trying to get it back on that, it took a whole month to get sorted out. But hey, like I said, everything's fine now. So that's just a little look back at just 1 year ago. How much has changed there? Let's see. Like I said, the Fire TV box is gone now, replaced with the Amazon Fire Stick Max. CBS All Access is now Paramount Plus. I'm now no more with YouTube TV. HBO Max is back. And wow, still using Peacock, still using Discovery Plus. Interesting stuff here. That's just 1 year ago. The Wayback Machine here on Me and My Roku. Okay, been getting quite a few questions, and always you can feel free to send me questions anytime you like at Me and My Roku Podcast at gmail.com. And quite a few asking for recommendations on a good universal remote that works with Roku. A bunch of people out there who also have sound systems and other TVs and all that stuff. So basically, any decent universal remote will work. So Amazon, Best Buy, even Walmart, who cares, will work. Because it's a simple IR to the TV. So there's nothing tricky about how the remote works as far as the Roku goes. So if it says it can do Roku on it, you're probably in good shape there. One thing, though, I do kind of want to recommend here is, and this isn't just, say you've got more than one streaming device like I've got, is that these devices have apps as well. And don't forget about that. So either Android or iOS, doesn't matter. The Roku app, Amazon, heck, my Apple TV, my iPhone, it's just right on the menu. So just another thing to do in case, whether we picked up brand new furniture that we hate, but that's okay. And one of the reasons why it's reasonably comfortable and all that stuff, but there's gaps. And so one little thing slides off because it's brand new, so it's still got that slick feeling to it. So remotes just go right through the cracks all the way down to the floor, and you don't feel like getting it. You've got an app right there to help you out on that. So just a little reminder there. Yes, you can get a universal remote. And as far as recommendations, it doesn't really matter. As long as it can say, you kind of get what you pay for on that. So if you're getting one for $9.99, just be wary of that. Or if you have to enter a whole bunch of codes. So you might want to have to pony up just a little bit. And it doesn't matter where you get it. Amazon, Best Buy, Walmart, doesn't matter. As long as it says Roku on there or whatever streaming device you use. But the recommendation from me and My Roku, what I do here in the house here is I use their apps. So it doesn't matter whether it's Google, the Google TV, the Fire Stick, or the Roku or anything along those lines. Just It's a simple little app. Doesn't take much space up on your phone or tablet or anything. Tablet is even better because you get a full screen on that, and the Roku app, you can actually even see all the different apps for your Roku and just hit a button and boom, go right to that. So that is your recommendation for remotes and apps here on Me and My Roku. Okay. Well, I've been having some discussions with people and on discussion boards and all that stuff, and the topic of coming up of reality television and people being offended or shocked and chagrined when they find out that, oh my God, reality TV isn't real? Little Mrs. came up with a story she sent over to me about a couple who were on House Hunters. And they said, yeah, it was all staged. We had picked our place months ago. And the realtor then came to us and asked us if we wanted to do it. And they just said, yeah, they wanted to be on TV type of thing. And they just showed them 2 other places. And then they restaged their house and all that stuff. And people were shocked and chagrined. Like, oh my God, I've been tricked. I've been swindled and all that stuff. It's like, well, okay. Maybe you're looking for a new place or something like that. In a town that you're not familiar with. Say Atlanta or Denver, or even in some of these international locations. Maybe you're looking for a second home or a vacation home or something like that. And you get to see what's out there and, what prices are going for and all that stuff. So there's benefits to it still. Now, for continuity's sake, I kind of get it. Because I remember watching the early editions of House Hunters and Caribbean Life and Hawaii Life and all. They're all the same type of thing. And, when they first started out, maybe they started with the best intentions, and you would get there and the people would say, okay, we picked this one, and the deal didn't go through, or something along those lines, and then you felt like you wasted half an hour of your time. This way, you know what they picked, and then that way, when they show 3 months later, well, they've already been there type of thing. It doesn't really bother me that much, but, remember, television isn't real. It's a TV show. It's meant to be entertaining type of thing. And that doesn't stop them. They come up with all these different reality shows, especially these cooking shows, all these competitions and new things. Now there's Next Level with Gordon Ramsay instead of Master Chef. And so they'll try anything. So I went through here, and here are 2 new shows. So this here, if you don't find these things entertaining, okay, you're just dead inside, okay? And forget all your friends who keep throwing you shows. Oh, you need to watch this on Netflix, and you need to watch this. Here, I got 2 shows for you here coming up. Reality TV. I'm using quotation marks. So this is coming up in Discovery Plus in the next month or so. Check your local listings. First is let's talk English here, folks. $1 Million Wheels. This series follows a group of highly competitive luxury car dealers who specialize in making their clients' wildest dreams come true. Oh, but in a world where supercars are posted on Instagram and sold the next day, luxury is not always pretty. Oh, check that out, $1 Million Wheels. Now, if that doesn't get your goat and get you going, how about Farmer Wants a Wife? 6 single farmers embark on a quest to find romance and hopefully everlasting love. The heat is turned up each stage until one lucky lady is chosen for each farmer. Now, what did we just say? These people are probably already married and they're going through... Oh, golly gosh. Come on, guys. Let's check this out here. Farmer Wants a Wife. Who needs The Bachelor when there's Farmer Wants a Wife? That's going to be available on Discovery Plus. Please do not make me look at Lifetime or any of these other ones that could be out there. So, reality TV. Reality is a state of mind, remember. Because what is real after all? There you have it. Here on Me and My Roku. Okay, kids, gather around. Not too close. It's okay, but just a little closer here so we can have a little chit-chat, little discussion. A celebration of sound, Public Domain Day, occurred on January 20th, 22, but it is still available. Free from copyright restrictions, the public can now enjoy unlimited access to creative works from 1926, including A.A. Milne's Winnie the Pooh, classic silent films with Buster Keaton, and jazz standards by Jelly Roll Morton. A visual party hosted by the Internet Archive, Creative Commons, and many other community co-sponsors on January 20th celebrated the availability of newly released material. This year's festivities also welcomed nearly 400,000 sound recordings from the pre-1923 era into the public domain as a result of the Music Modernization Act passed by the U.S. Congress. That is all available to you today at the Internet Archive at archive.org. The providers of the bandwidth of this podcast and all the podcasts I've done since 2005, please check that out today. It is now available, that even though that happened on January 20th, it's archived at archive.org. Check that out. A lot of the things I do here that I get, you're just like, Pete, how can you afford all those things? And jeepers creepers, don't you cancel anything or do anything? It's like, well, a lot of things come out of pocket to me. Now, I don't take sponsorships. I don't do anything like that. Like I said, all this is done for the Internet Archive. So a lot of things I do in the background here, then I get gift cards for, and then I post those on either Apple or Google or PayPal or something along those lines, and that pays for all my stuff. You can do that too. One of the ones I use the most and the longest, which means it's still together, it means it's legit, it's been around for at least 10 years, and that's swagmucks.radioaffliction.com. Now, if you go to that site that I just explained to you, or click on the link that's in the notes here, where you get this podcast, that gets you all set up. That helps them, helps me, helps you. Get you started and check it out today. Just check it out. Do surveys if you want to do surveys. You want to do something silly like I do and have computers running commercials and ads in the background? You can do that. It's up to you. Or just shop at the things you shop for anyway. Get a discount and then get cash back as well that you can use towards a gift card. So it's all there for you. It's up to you. Just like me and my Roku and all those things. You do you. And I just tell you what I do, and it's up to you. Swagbucks.radioaffliction.com, and check out the celebration of sound, the Public Domain Day, and all the things that are available now thanks to the Music Modernization Act passed by Congress. Check that out today at the Internet Archive at archive.org. Okay, the moment you've all been waiting for, the continuing saga of Back to the Basics. Why we got into this racket to begin with. It all started way back in 2009, Black Friday. I needed a toy. I needed something to do, and I was thinking about cutting the cord, or just wanted to, experiment and play around and all explore. I'm amateur scientist at heart. And I saw a deal for the Roku. It was a Roku XD. I had a gift card from Amazon, and the only thing I paid for then was the $15 to get it shipped the next day. So on Black Friday, got it Saturday, and mind blown from there. So I can't remember. I think I was a Netflix head at the time because I had the Netflix DVDs, and I was streaming off of the computer, and it had an S-video cord out there, and then it had an 1/8" jack and all the things, and I had to get up and hit the next thing and all this stuff. So there had to be a better way, and here was the Roku. I had a client who had this Roku, and he had like 100-foot cord of Cat 5 cable from the other room, from the router, all the way to his TV. And he says, "Oh yeah, it's awesome. All you gotta do is this one simple little remote here, and your Netflix just comes right there, and you just pick what you want, and boom." So I was sold. So I wanted to try it out, and boy, ever since then, and it wasn't shortly after that, got the cord, and from there, been going on. So started a series here of Back to the Basics. This is sometimes you just need to, just like when you're going through your drawers or anything like that, you just take everything out and to see where you're at and take inventory. How did we get into this to begin with? And started the first part was then the hardware. Because like I said, it's a wonderful thought, but unless you have the actual hardware to go. So that was in the chicken and the egg of this whole thing, was getting the hardware. And I went through and listed all the things that I had, and I ranked them even. and then I came back with part 2 then, and I re-ranked them, because just after I did the first rankings, I bought a new TV, a Samsung TV, and that threw the whole thing off. And now some times have settled in. I've had time to think about things and use these things. And with football winding down and all this stuff, the priorities of what I'm using and all that stuff is kind of... so once again, I've had to re-rank. So some things haven't changed. So still number 9 is the Hisense 58-inch Google TV, formerly Android TV. Lovely TV. Wonderful picture. But as a smart device... or as a pseudo Roku replacement type of thing, the only thing that really works on it without fail is Netflix. Everything else lags or things, or actually some Google, like YouTube, actually works pretty good too. But the picture is amazing, and when I hook the other devices like the Roku soundbar and the Apple TV on it, the picture is great. But as a device on its own, it's number 9. Number 8 is the TV I'm using right here as the monitor of this computer, the Fire TV Insignia. And it's not because it's a Fire TV or anything like that. It's just its main goal here is to be the monitor for this thing or for my Roku 3. So I actually use it as a device? Maybe technically could be number 9 too. Well, these things are fluid, as you see here. So number 7 is the Roku 3, which is right in front of me here. I just don't use it enough. Like I said, in this room here, it's a makeshift office. I'm here to work, But technically, watching my Roku then would be technically work and all that stuff. So that's number 7. Number 6, where did we go here? We changed it up a little bit here. And so I had this as high as number 4, I think now. So dropping back down is the brand new Samsung Crystal UHD 4K 55-inch TV in our living room here. Because basically the Tyson format it's nice. It seems to work, and it doesn't lag and any of the other things, but it lacks in apps. So I can get the big ones, Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, Discovery Plus, those things. But so there's some little things that we're a little crazy here. This is our TV. We don't have 150 cable channels and all that stuff. So if it doesn't have the things that we're looking for. So it works good, but we just basically use a Roku on it. So that's all the way up to number 5. We're going to put the Chromecast with Google TV. We like it. We like the interface. We like how it makes recommendations the more we use it, type of thing. So that's a nice thing. Number 4, we're going to give right now to the brand new Fire Stick 4K Max. I'm not crazy still about the Amazon interface, but this thing is smoother than snot, or something along those lines. It's fast. It's just unbelievably fast. And then the picture is good once you are watching your shows and all that stuff. So we like that a lot here. Number 4. Number 3 is dropping. Oh, the Roku soundbar. And just for the main fact is like I said, football's dying down. We're not downstairs in the 3 TV setup as much. We like the new TV. We like the setup here in the living room. And that also then drops down the Apple TV second generation to number 2, because just haven't used it as much here. So that means the one we're using the most, and it's number 1 right now, is our Roku Ultra that's on the Samsung TV. It's just been a lifesaver for us. It's the easiest to use, easiest interface. When I go to work and all that stuff, the little missus doesn't call me up and says, how do I do this? How do I do that? Now she texted me the other day, is like, do we get A&E and all that stuff? But that's just a simple little thing to say, oh yeah, that we either have the app or you can just go to Hulu. And it's like, oh, okay, boom. She knows where to find that on the Roku, whereas trying to discover that somewhere else in some of the other ones. So there you have it. And then we had to say goodbye to the second generation Google Chromecast, the original Amazon Fire TV box, and the Roku LT. Those went to an electronic recycling center. So that was back to that was the hardware and the re-ranking of the hardware. The number 2 is just the mindset of a cord cutter and the streamer. And what you can't think of like how you had it before is like, oh, I'm just going to go to ABC, CBS, NBC, or I'm just going to go to Netflix or anything. Get out there and explore that mindset out there, and don't get bogged down by the headlines saying all these different things are trying to trick you into something like that. Find out what you want to do, and then that will guide you on there what to watch and when to watch, and then you're in control. And I know that's hard for some people. They're always like, I don't want to be in control. I just want to be able to turn something on and have something on and all that stuff. But that's what. And so then today, we'll get to channels and apps and all that stuff and free and subscription and all that stuff. We'll get there. But first, the next thing to do is how to watch and what to watch. So having a reference. Now, a basic Google search or search engine search can help you along those of where to find things, where to go from there, and then that can help you decide, can I get it on a free service, or can I get it on, or do I have to get a subscription type of things. Remember, we've cut the cord. The only thing we're paying for right now is for the internet. And obviously there's different things like YouTube and Netflix if you already have it and other things. But there's other things to help you out there. So like I said, a regular search engine site. The other thing we use here is the Imdb app. So having a tablet or a phone or anything along those is helpful, because then that way you can find apps then to help you, guide you to where you want to go next. Whether you want to, can you get it for free, or are you going to have to pay for it to get it? Imdb is good because that way, if there's a show that you like or an actor in that show that you like, it tells you all the different things. It gives you a little bit of a guide of where you can watch it. But the best one for that, I think, is Just Watch. It's a good app to. You put in the streaming services that you think you want or the shows you want to watch, and it'll tell you where it's streaming and where to go. Another one I like is Reel Good, R-E-E-L, Good. What's good about that one is it has the same type of things where you can put in different services that you like or want or anything like that, or shows that you like, and it'll tell you where it's at. But it also can connect to your Roku and act as a remote. So that's kind of an interesting thing. Right? So, hardware. Number 1, 2, mindset, thinking outside the box and being ready to explore, to know that you're in control. And 3, having a reference to know where to go from there. So you can type something in and it'll guide you of where to go. Imdb is a good one. Just Watch is good. Real Good is good. And just a basic search on a search engine can also help you a long way in your cord-cutting adventure. Whew! Back to the basics here on Me and My Roku.
The beginning of wisdom is to do away with fear.
Okay. Well, as I'm doing this bank show here, now I'm realizing that next week's my birthday week, and I'm going to be off all week. So I'll probably be popping up all the time. We'll see. Life gets in the way. You never know what's going on. It's family issues and all that good stuff. You never know what's going to happen, but it's nice to have a bank show in the bank. Just in case. So I'll probably release this over the weekend. You're probably, duh, I'm getting it now. But anyway, so I just said. So in lieu of news and notes, we'll do comings and goings. The only thing really going is that I dropped the sports package, the sports add-on from Hulu. So I have Hulu Plus Live, which gives me the Disney bundle. Then I'm thinking about getting rid of that right after the Super Bowl here. So in a couple of weeks. But then I realized, well, there's still golf. And there's other things. We'll see what's going on. It also depends how many gift cards I can get too. So we'll see what goes on there. So, but definitely had to drop. As soon as Red Zone signed off, that was it for the sports package. Nothing to keep me going. And kind of enjoyed the horse racing, but we can live without that. Nothing else. The outdoor channels didn't do anything for me. So there really wasn't in there. So that went. So the other thing I was thinking about, if I went back to regular Hulu, or the Hulu bundle, Disney bundle, is to get Hulu without ads. The Little Missus has been watching some old shows like Castle and things, and the volume on the commercials is way higher than the programming. So I did a little thing before I started recording here. We won't tell her just yet. Little birthday present for her from my birthday, but the best birthday present is a happy wife. So the Little Missus gets Hulu no ads now. So it basically comes out to be the same amount as having the sports add-on. So what would you rather have? A sports add-on, the things that you're not watching anymore, or a happy wife with Hulu with no ads? So I think the answer is obvious there. So, and then coming, I think we mentioned this on the last program, I added the great courses. I think I'm going to keep it because it's working out. Now, I really haven't watched anything on the Roku yet. I'm going to have to watch it on the Apple TV app because that's where I'm getting it through. But so I watch it basically on my iPhone, and then I just put on a lecture series and I just listen to it as I go to sleep and all that stuff, or while I'm at work, learning different things, all that stuff. But there's other things I like how to play chess or how to draw. There's some visual things. So that'll be nice. And so I'm going to check that out. So we added that. And my my Apple credits take care of that. So no added cost there. Not really have the time for anything else. But that's another thing I can do in the background as well. So that's why I justified the expense right there. So that's the comings and goings on that. So thank you for listening to this show. I'm getting a little itchy and twitchy, trying to get back into the groove of things. So get back to my Roku and other devices here. So like I said, I'm going to be off, and I might do a little experimenting if time permits and all that stuff. So I'm going to be doing a little organizing around the house here, and so we know what happened on the show here today. I found some old notes and all that stuff, so if along those lines, I'll do that. I want you to keep checking out the Internet Archive at archive.org, because I want to thank them for providing the bandwidth of this podcast and all the podcasts I've done since 2005, and that's a wonderful thing. So stay tuned for that, and the best way you can keep track of other things that are going on here is by subscribing. Because in that way, you never know when I'm going to pop up. You won't know if it's a bank show or a regular show or a news, notes, and stuff show or anything like that. Just stay subscribed and it just comes directly to you. Pete, how do I do that? Well, here you go. You can subscribe to the Me and My Roku podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spreaker, Spotify, TuneIn, Amazon Music, on GeoSavin, Himalaya, SoundCloud, YouTube, iHeartMedia, Podbean, Pandora, and Odyssey. Follow me on Twitter at Radio Affliction and on Instagram at Pierre Argyle. And if you need one-on-one questions, comments, or anything like that you'd like to share with me, please do so at me and my Roku podcast at gmail.com. Hey, I hope you are enjoying you and your Roku as much as I'm enjoying me and my Roku. And I'll be back with you real soon.
That's it. It's over. It's all over.
Phrase I always fall back on. I'll phone you next week.
Distributed by Hugh Hornblower Incorporated, Windy City, Wisconsin.